Hey everybody, this is Mr. Schultz here with you. We're going to look at today the TI84 calculator. This is what you're going to be using and what you have available to you on the MCA. So we want to make sure that you know about this calculator and some of the quirks with it. So here's what you'll do. You will, if you're watching this, it should be the same instruction as what you got in class, so you don't need to watch it again. But if you miss class, this is a great thing to watch. So we'll be in step 2 here, practice with the MCA calculator. And so 1, you've got your video that you're watching here. You've got the instructions and you've got the standalone calculator. So let's first take a look at the instructions. Basically just a bunch of how-to that I'll be using to kind of walk through here, and we'll take it step by step. Then if you click on this standalone calculator, so it does this, and then we're in grade 8, so you will want to do this, grade 8 graphing calculator, and it'll just ask you to sign in, or to start basically, and to start, and then here you'll just click on the calculator, and then it pulls up right there, and you can do that and use it like that. So I'm going to minimize this window now, and we're going to kind of see everything that is going on here with this. So here we have the side-by-side instruction here. So this is the instruction. Here is the calculator. I'm just putting it side by side so we can kind of see that and use that and use that for our instructions. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the graphing calculator to graph these two lines here. So you'll click the y equals. So that is this button right here. So I'll just click on that. And then it says enter in y1. We'll want to enter the equation x, which is right there. So the x button on the TI is right here. It's right next to the alpha key. So I'm going to click and hold it there. There you see I'm highlighting it red. So there's our first line, y equals x. Then we want to enter the second line, which is y equals negative 4x plus 10. And notice that these always start with y equals right here. So I'm just going to use the arrow key and arrow down. And then I'll type in negative 4. Now notice that the minus key here is not the same thing as a negative key. So be sure to use the minus 4. And then I'm going to use that x key again. And I'll add 10, plus 10. Now I've got my 2 lines in there. So I just need to go to graph. Graph is this button on the far right. It says graph. So I'll click on that. And there I have got my 2 lines. Should look something like this. Now this is in black and white here, but the one online is in color. If your graph is looking weird or anything like that, you can use the zoom button. So you click zoom, which is in the middle. And then to go to the standard layout, you'll just click 6. All that this is doing is it's changing your window. So if I were to choose a different one, like let's say that yours is looking weird. Let's say that yours is looking something like this here, where, hey, it's just kind of looking weird. Something is going on here. Just go zoom. Or let's see, it's freaking out right now. There we go. Just go zoom, and then you click that 6 or the standard. So it's just the standard zoom look. And now it's going to look like that. And then the question says, how many solutions does the system have? Well, it's just got one solution because it's only crossing at one point. So this is one solution here. Let's go down to our next problem here. So 3C. So it says this. Let's use the graphing calculator to graph this stuff. And we're going to find the point of intersection. So we're going to use this trace button. Trace is the second one over from graphing. So we've used zoom, we've used graph, we've used y equals. Now we're just going to trace. So if you click trace, then it says use the left and right arrow keys to trace along to get a approximate solution. So so you can see my cursor is kind of going along that blue line there. I can use that and get kind of close. Say, okay, look at that. It's about x equals 1.96. So I'm going to estimate that's probably x equals 2, y equals 2. I can get kind of an estimate. But you can actually find the exact thing if you use this point of intersection if you calculate. And calculate is in blue here. So I would just click this second and then go to trace, which is now the calculate button. And then here I can use the intersect point. So I'll go down to 5 for the intersect point because I want to find out where these 2 lines intersect. So I'll click enter. And now we just want to hit enter 3 times. What this is trying to do is have you estimate for it, but it doesn't really matter. So if you hit enter once on the first curve, then the second curve again, then your guess, and press enter, it'll tell you exactly where it intersects. It intersects at 2, 2. So the solution for this one here would be 2, 2. Now we're going to use the graphing calculator to solve the following system here. So, but this is not in y equals. So I need to convert this equation into y equals. So I'm going to go back to my y equals, because this graphing calculator does not allow you to just type it in as it sits. You have to convert it. So what I'm going to do with this purple one here is I'm just going to take off this x so that I end up with just y on the one side. I'm trying to solve for just y. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and I'll be left with a negative x minus 1. And that's what my purple line is going to look like. I'm just subtracting x and moving it over onto this side. So I'm just left with y on this side. My other equation, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So this time I'm going to add 2x because this is already subtracting 2x. So now I'll have 2x plus 2 in this situation here. Then I just need to graph it. So I'm going to go over to that graph button again. And there is that. And it looks like you can almost tell what that is. It's probably at about -1 and 0, but we can calculate it. So we're going to go second and trace, or this calculate button. We'll go to intersect at 5. And then we just need to hit enter 3 times. And look at that. It's at -1 and 0. So this system has one solution, and it's -1, 0. Now here are 2 other problems that I'll have you take a look at and see what you can do to solve it. Feel free to pause the video and try these. So feel free to pause the video and try to come up with these solutions here. All right, let's see what we can do here. So I'm just going to clear out both of these pieces. And again, I need to solve this for y equals. So I'll let you do that stuff, but it should, on the first one, be -x minus 2. On the second equation here, I would end up with a fraction. So a fraction, I just need to put it as a divide key. So I'd end up with a positive 2/3. And then I'm going to, positive 2/3. And then I'm going to multiply that by x. And then I'm going to say plus 3 is what you should get for your equation there. So to type in the fraction, be sure that you do 2 divided by 3. And then I'll just go to graph. And there's my graph again. And I can use that second calculate. I'm going to do the intersection, press enter 3 times, and find out my solution for this one should be at -3, +1. So so it's got one solution, and it's at -3 and +1. It's right there on the graph. My very last one here that I'm going to look at. So I'm just going to clear out my 2 equations. So my first one's already set up in y equals, so I just need to type that in, 3x minus 5, which I actually put in the second line, but it doesn't really matter where you put it. And then I'll solve this one for y. So I'm just going to add 3. So that'll be, 3x. So I'm going to add 3x, and I'm going to add 2. And then I'm going to graph this again. And look at that. The 2 lines look like they're not going to cross. So this is a system that has no solution because the lines will never cross. So it does not have a solution, and it's got no solutions here. All right, and that's everything that we've got for you with using the graphing calculator. The big takeaways are this: be sure to use the negative key when you're talking about like a negative number like -2. Be sure to use the divide key to create a fraction. And then, of course, you've got your y equals up here to be able to graph it. And you've got your calculate key here, second, and then calculate to be able to find points of intersection, or second quit to get back to this main screen. That's everything that I've got for you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.